Welcome, we're back. Gonna do a little tour of the watches we have so far. Didn't bring everything with me overseas, but we have picked up one new piece while here in the UK. Of course, going over like the ones we did bring, why we brought them. Like I feel like bringing a Garmin with you is pretty much an obvious choice, but we'll go through everything in a moment. We'll have a building process on the new piece we did buy as we're going to tear that apart, replace a few things in it, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay. Huzzah. So this is what we have with us so far. We'll remove the Garmin for the fact that it is a digital watch, but pretty much just have this. It's the Venu 3. Use it for sleep, fitness tracking overall. Look, if I go to the gym, I want to be able to track everything, and I didn't want to fork out the money to get one of the Whoop bands because they were really expensive. Garmin, in my eyes, is the next best thing. So 2 tanks, and then we've got 2 chronographs. This is its own separate thing. This is our newest edition, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's very finicky, but that's why we're going to tear it apart and replace what we can, do a service on it, and then it should be good to go. And then these 2. So this is the one I pretty much wear every single day. It is a Seiko Tank quartz from, I believe, the early 80s to late 70s. I did have all the serial number and paperwork for it, and when I got it, it was actually a little bit busted. I cleaned up the sides here because they were horrific, and then had to also replace one of the gears inside, which was very tedious to find a piece for, but the battery itself is the worst. So I believe it's this one and this one both use just really strange batteries, and they don't do them anymore. I think it's because that's not because they're lithium. It's they've got something in them. They don't do it. They risk exploding. So we had to go find that. Absolute pain, but here we are. So I wear that most days if I'm not wearing the Garmin. This here is a Pulsar tank. I wore this pretty much all throughout high school. This was actually my dad's watch. Does not wear jewelry, does not like watches, which is great. That means more for me. It does have a grey engraving on the back, so I'm not really going to show that. But for the most part, I wore this from, gosh, it's like, I'd like to say 7-8 years solid, until I got this piece here, which was a gift from my mum. But it is a beauty. It's a tank, quite literally. This thing has been put through hell. It's been thrown around. I've gone overseas with it multiple times. Like, it's first time I went freediving, I had this with me. Like, it's an actual trooper. It just needs a new battery, and I haven't got around to replacing it. I used to wear it in place of this. We will address this one last, and we'll jump onto this just very briefly. Now, this one here is a bit of a topic. Everyone says don't go to Undone Watches. Look, they were one of few people, please excuse the sirens in the background, one of the few people doing a Ultraman collaboration. So when the Netflix series came out on, well, when it came out on Netflix ages ago now, many moons, they did a limited edition watch. So I got the Ultraman watch, was like, hell yeah, this is great. Was talking to mom about it, and she got me one. I'm extremely grateful. It's absolutely beautiful. The loom's actually pretty solid, although I guess it hasn't really been in the sun much to charge up. I was just taking it apart, replacing the O-ring and the battery as well. But we'll just pop that back on. It doesn't have an O-ring on at the moment. It's currently getting lubed up, but I might actually have a little look in, because it decides to work sometimes and doesn't the others. So I'm not sure if it's just the battery or if it's something else. We'll see. But that's why this one's on its lovely little pedestal here. Now this one is our newest piece. So this is a Smiths 21 Joule. It is shockproof. They were very, very popular, or what Smiths watches, I should say, were a massive British watch company known for doing really high precision making and timekeeping during World War One. I've just turned it over and stopped ticking. Yeah. It's, yeah, we can see it's barely keeping on. It does have a wind. It's just doesn't want to keep. Hence why we're going to take it apart. I haven't messed with a mechanical winding watch, like a winding watch before, so this will be pretty fun in terms of me learning something new. But I moved over. I didn't want to bring like some of my other watches with me. I just bought the ones that I knew I would wear the most, and when I came over, this one's battery ran out, and then I took it off and the O-ring sort of snapped. So I was like, okay, cool. Found this super cheap online, and I'm like, look, at least then I will have a British watch. It did come with like a brand new strap, which kind of grateful for, but I'm also kind of curious to see what sort of strap was on it before. Do excuse me while I just go and grab it. Like it's nice. It looked really sleek. I've just got to get it up and running. So this will be my little project here. We will tear it apart very shortly. I do need to get, I didn't bring my actual set with me, so I do need to get a smaller precision screwdriver, but that is no problem at all. We've got absolutely everything else, and this is, in my opinion, an absolute hidden beauty. I do kind of swear by, not cheaper watches, because like, of course, Casio is like king, right? But getting this for essentially $50 and it being so ancient and so much history behind it, it was great to sort of just learn about a watch brand that I otherwise would not have known about. So we're gonna take this apart, have a little look at the insides, and it's got a very loud tick. I think it stopped as soon as I put it up. It is like purring. I actually love it. So as soon as I get this up and running, tear it apart and break down, we'll do a little video on it. We can do a small deep dive into the history, but this is in surprisingly good condition. But yeah, this is what we've got with us so far. I do have two really nice watches that I left back in Australia purely because I didn't want to cart them or risk them like being taken, lost, that sort of thing across seas. If I do happen to get one more watch while I might be at a maximum one more, it's always just one more, right? I will probably end up going with an Omega. Got a JLC Reverso back home and it's beautiful. I have a habit to love tank designs, but upon seeing this and the guy I got it from had a Omega Geneve, and that was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we will see. Probably not, because we've already got a few. We don't need any more. However, they're just, yeah, beautiful in their own right. I will try and fix this in its own time, and we will see how I go. It is one of my favorite watches, even though everyone says don't go to Undone. Look, I love it. I really do. The fact it was a gift more than anything else, but it's It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. And of course, this and this. Anyway, that's all, guys. Thought I'd take you through what we have so far, and when we start to do a teardown, maybe look at something else, I'll let you all know.